All right, let's continue with Doodle Talk, which I actually have not gone back and checked to see if my past Doodle Talks have been a stirring success. I don't know if they are. Maybe I need to practice them to get better at them. Who knows? Is this another skill set to have? Chatting inanely while you doodle? That might indeed be what I'm looking for. Is that skill set. I wonder what that is going to particularly ever get me, other than, you know, yet more hours on YouTube that I fill, clogging up their YouTube's poor beleaguered system with yet more videos. I won't call them content. I'll just call them me nattering away. For some, God knows what reason. Actually, I think I know what the reason is. The reason is I find it is a way to motivate myself to actually sit down and doodle, is to do this. It's funny, I have a couple of processes. Well, I have managed to do actually quite a bit of doodling without filming myself. I have over 100, well over 100 doodles. I can't remember how much at the moment. Well over 100 doodles that I have made, and I uploaded on LE before I ended up deciding that LE wasn't really the greatest site for me, just because it is a bit of a social media site, and I was starting to fall into all my social media bad habits being there. So now I am on Comic Fury, posting my doodles there, my crude and terrible doodles there. Yes, so I do not, yeah, I'm trying to decide. Well, I've been posting old stuff there, but I haven't really ever gotten back to the new stuff again. So that is what I've got to decide. Is, you know, can I make a go of this again? I had a run, and now I'm looking to have another run, this time on Comic Fury, and so far it has just all been old stuff, and it's like, if I'm going to do this again, I'm going to have to figure out again what it's going to be. I have discovered that for me, for doodling, I need to conceptualize. I need to come up with an idea. I need to sort of script it out, and then come to the doodle part of it. The art is coming last, which is maybe not surprising when you look at the results, where I then aim towards that. I've got concept, I've got dialogue, and then, okay, here's the picture that goes along with it. Because if I don't do it that way, I don't seem to actually be able to kind of click the other way, you know. Yeah, which I don't know. That's, well, so here I'm gonna have some dialogue. Which is coming from an erotic story I'm reading, so I'm not going to show this, or all my stuff seems to be erotic, so I'm not going to show the doodle. I'm not going to actually talk about the subject matter, which is kind of hard while you're actually doodling, especially when you're just the stick figures, the shapes vaguely on the page. I probably should have started out just with a lot of times with the doodles, I just start out with the dialogue. I put the dialogue there, and then I write the picture around the dialogue. Which is working for me. I don't know if it's making particularly for striking pictures or striking art, but it's very functional for me, and at this point I'm just going for functional. That said, I think I'm going to press stop, and I'm just going to listen to something while I actually get the pencil. I think I can perhaps do inking. I can do inking while I am do inking right now. Actually, maybe I'll do inking of. I've got a picture here, which I could just ink. Maybe I'll do that. I will ink right now, and as I chat here, because I don't think I can actually pencil something. I think that takes a little bit too much more effort on my part to actually get it down. So let's do that. Jean and I had a conversation about what we thought are the best TV shows that we've watched this year, and I would definitely go with there's the Succession, Andor, and Reservation Dogs. I think would be our tops. Succession really falling off for us as we went along. The death of the patriarch. The death of the patriarch really kind of. Actually, the death of the patriarch and the death of the patriarch was impactful, Brian Cox, but it felt like it went along too long after that. Like for what they had to say, that there could have been like 2 episodes versus I think 4 episodes, and yeah, that would have made for a more a tighter, and the pacing ended up just feeling off by the end of it. So yeah, there's that. It's just didn't. Yeah, the pacing fell off. Versus The Bear, which just hammered home with like episode after episode that was just amazing. You know, the one with Donnie and his separate thing, but then you have like the family Christmas flashback episode, which was just like holy shit, and you just have the general pressures, and just like in the final, just like the opening of the restaurant is just all, you know, just tremendous stuff that came throughout that season. Reservation Dogs had an amazing, is it third season where it's like after the second season they could have just ended there. It could have just ended there, and that would have been the end. But instead it went for a third season, which opened up from these particular kids in a community to the wider story of the community. And at first I was like, where the fuck are you going? But it totally won you over and totally engrossed and pulled you into all these other people who supported these kids, as just you know, fucking amazing television. It's just like goddamn. The Yellow Jackets this year really disappointed. We just watched Generation V, which, I mean, it was never going to be high television, but it really just went off the rails by the end, you know. And it was just like, well, why are you doing what you're doing? You're doing what you're doing either for sensational TV, kind of just sensational as in gross splatter violence, or maybe this is something that's supposed to tie into the show it's an offshoot of, The Boys, and as such it really damaged the integrity or whatever of that actual story, which is, you know, that was a shame, because I did actually kind of like some of those characters. Shrimp, what's her name? What the hell is her name? Emma, yeah, she was like, I was like, oh, they're gonna really do an interesting story with her, and then it was like not so much. We had to kind of go back to kind of just cynical for cynical sake's Boys Land, which is what it felt like it was what it felt like in the end, which was a pity. It was a pity because it could have been so much more, but it just really felt like it really went off the rails there at the end, which is, yeah, it's too bad. You know, of the best Star Trek series this year, it's definitely the lower decks, which is, that's saying something. I found that Strange New Worlds, the live action thing, like Lower Decks is the cartoon, which is sort of kind of it started off just as simply a parody show, but even from the beginning, we've been doing a very rewarding rewatch of Lower Decks. They've been building kind of just general stories, actual genuine stories for the characters, within the show. It really kind of it really kept on building this this season in a way that was great. I feel like Strange New Worlds, on the other hand, got kind of gimmicky in its second season with a lot of kind of concept shows that were like, oh, we're going for something, but kind of fell flat on the characters. And there's kind of an overarching story which is just sort of like we're building, and then for this season we did all this silly stuff, and then we're gonna go back to the overarching story again next season, which was just like, I fucking don't care about that, the Gorn. I do not care about the Gorn anymore. So yeah, that was disappointing. Still kind of fairly high quality, but disappointing nevertheless, which, it's like, fuck. Yeah, I think that's a good media roundup for the year. Yeah. Do I have anything else particular to say? Not particularly about that. I'm just going to leave it there. That was enough yakking. That was 12 minutes of yakking, and Ja is probably going to come back pretty soon. Yeah, inking is definitely the way to go versus trying to pencil. Penciling is, I think I need a lot more concentration, and I need to be listening to something. If I'm going to be doing something, probably listening to something is a much better idea. All right, I will leave it there. More videos later.